what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the project showcase session. And what we're going to do here is our presenters each have 15 minutes to present the specific investment opportunity at their airports. We don't have to travel far for our first project showcase. We're just going a little bit south, where I think it maybe is even maybe a little bit colder. And I actually had the pleasure of visiting this site a couple of years ago. It was very kind of the team at Cape Winelands to show me around and sell me the vision and explain exactly what they're doing. And it's such an exciting project. And it's not every day that we have new airport projects. Okay, there is an existing airport there, but the ambition that Mark's going to communicate now is really, really impressive. And obviously, the Cape Town opportunity is exciting as well. So I'm going to hand the floor to Mark. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage. And Mark Wilkinson from Cape Winelands. Clickers.
All right, good morning, everybody. And thank you, John, for the lovely introduction. It's a pleasure to be here. It's actually my first time in Namibia. Definitely will not be the last. And it's my second time with Aviadev. So we first attended Aviadev 2 years ago in Cape Town. We took a hiatus last year where we needed the time and the gap really just to refine our own development plans, which is why we're here today. I will be presenting briefly about the new Cape Winelands Airport. So my name is Mark Wilkinson. I'm one of the financial director of the group. We call ourselves the RSA Aero Group, which is a holding company, and we've got a broader ambition of developing, owning, and operating a network of destination-based airports around the country. Of course, Cape Winelands Airport really is the crown jewels, but we've got broader ambitions as well. Recently took on board the Plettenberg Bay Airport down the Garden route, which is the second one in our stable, and actively looking for more opportunities around the country. So, in a nutshell, we've only got 15 minutes, so I'm going to highlight a few key points about our project. We are building the second commercial airport for Cape Town. We're roughly 25 kilometers away from Cape Town International, on the outskirts of the city. We've got a 3.5 kilometer runway planned for our development plans, code F capability, really accommodating the largest commercial jets currently flying to the region. And it's important for us to get that runway length and capability because we really are also positioning ourselves as a viable alternate for diversion fuel planning, which is a large portion of our business model. Go into a bit of detail shortly. And being in the winelands, surrounded by vineyards with the mountains in the distance as well, such a beautiful part of the world. And we really are staying completely true to our location and the heritage of the area. You wouldn't be surprised to find vineyards on the perimeter instead of fences, as long as ICAO are happy with it. But we've got wonderful plans of turning this into a really boutique tourism-based destination airport, yet at the same time, it's very strong commercial principles as well, accommodating scheduled commercial traffic domestically, especially at first. We've been engaging with the airline industry, big demand for what we're trying to do, internationally in the long term as well. And then we have a very strong business and general aviation precinct in our plans. In fact, the initial reasoning and intention behind Cape Winelands Airport was to build a general aviation precinct, which naturally evolved over time as we started engaging with the industry. Cargo and logistics as well, being in the exporter capital of the country with fresh produce, its berries, its flowers, citrus, its fish. Cape Town is booming at the moment. Exports in terms of agriculture are booming at the moment, and we are absolutely keeping cargo as a major focus of our plans. At the moment, we're busy going through planning, hoping to get environmental approval within the next 12 months, and then hopefully operational by the start of 2028. So before I get into the next slide, it's lovely that we've got Neki here in the room as well. Marcel and the team, they've been working with us for the last 3 years. They developed our master plan as well as our airspace study. And for the first time, we're about to showcase one of our latest videos. So sit back and relax and enjoy the next few minutes. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everyone. So it's been a couple of years in the making. We're going through quite a regulated process, trying to secure environmental approval, town planning approval as well. Nelly and Marcel and the team are talking about the importance of getting town planning right as well for the plans. So we spent the last couple of years aggregating land. We've got about 900 hectares in total now. And the plans you see on screen now really are the final phase product. It combines a 3.5 kilometer runway. We've got a passenger terminal building, and we've got broad ambitions for scheduled services as well. But it's on a boutique level. If you look at our positioning, which I'll show you shortly in the next slide, we're on the outskirts of the city. But if you take a 10-year, 20-year view, the city of Cape Town in South Africa is extending in one direction only. It's going towards the east, northeast. Cape Winelands Airport is perfectly situated to provide convenience and choice, especially for those people in the area. Then we've got, obviously, considering our cargo plans as well, being in the exports capital of the country for fresh produce and agriculture. Large, decently sized cargo terminal, very responsibly sized according to the traffic and demand that we're expecting. And then, of course, second and first line of facilities, warehouses, cold storage, distribution centers for the sector to really stimulate that part of the business. And then alongside the passenger terminal building, we're really incorporating wonderful principles in terms of commercial development. It's going to have an amazing feel to it. The architects are getting very involved. It's about providing a wonderful, seamless tourist experience with the aesthetics. We've got the vineyards, as I mentioned earlier, developing wine emporiums. We want people to feel like their holiday started when they've arrived at Cape Winelands Airport or not even at their destination. So we've got hotel developments that are coming online as well at various tiers. A large portion of the business model in terms of the non-passenger and non-aeronautical sector is specifically in flight training. That needs accommodation as well. South Africa is a major boon for flight training in the country. Then we have a very large general aviation precinct as well. And that's specifically for the private jet operators, fixed base operators, charter operators, flight training and maintenance. And we spend a lot of time engaging with industry already, and there's a major demand for that. And so that's absolutely going to be stimulating the resilience of our project in terms of the non-aeronautical revenue from a real estate perspective. Now, if you look on the screen now, it shows you the existing carrying site. 4 very old concrete runways, which is what we showed John a couple of years ago. These are built in 1943 during the Second World War. And we spent quite a long time figuring out how do we extend the runway to 3.5 kilometers. And we needed to consider, obviously, integration into the existing airspace. We needed to consider the wind direction. We needed to consider topography and a whole host of issues. And it took us a while, but we ended up in the most ideal situation. And so we want to start in 2027, 2028, with a capacity of 1.7 million passengers per annum, with a 3.5 kilometer runway, with a small passenger terminal building, parking aprons perfectly sized, commercial developments needed to sustain the airport operations, and then a large business aviation component on the south. If you look at the compass in the bottom left corner, north is left, south is right. And then over time, we foresee Cape Winelands Airport processing over 5 million passengers per annum by the year 2050. We think these are conservative. If you look at how Cape Town has been growing, large thanks to the Cape Town Air Access team, Cape Town is absolutely booming at the moment, and we'll make sure that we're there to assist with the excess demand. Now, where really is Cape Winelands Airport? Relative to Cape Town, it's on the northern eastern outskirts of the city. It's perfectly situated between Paarl, Durban, Stellenbosch, and as Cape Town grows and as the neighboring cities also grow, soon in the next 20 years, Cape Winelands Airport will be at the center of the northeastern parts of the region. Now, with the semigration going into the Cape as well at the same time, these figures are being exacerbated even further. It puts us in a really wonderful position just off the N1 National Highway. There's a railway link going past our airport, puts us in a really, really favorable position. And often the question gets asked, why do we even need a second airport? Now, if we have time, my unbiased view, I can sit with you for 2 hours after this and tell you all of the reasons. But I want to focus on 2 critical ones here, capacity and choice, of course, and then optimization and savings of having a second airport in a multi-airport system. Now, from a capacity perspective, any of the South Africans who have flown between Johannesburg and Cape Town at 8 o'clock in the morning or 6 p.m. in the afternoon versus midday, you can end up paying twice, 3 times the price. So slot capacity becomes a constraint. Single runway systems can only process a fixed number of movements per hour. And so by having additional runways into the region, absolutely alleviates that. And Cape Town gets busy. So does our Tambo, which is why Land Series provided such a wonderful role within the region as well. So that's just about capacity. Then there's choice. Cape Town as a region is growing. You need to provide economic opportunities close to where people live. And as the city grows further away, you need an additional airport to facilitate that kind of demand. Then I want to talk about the benefits from a fuel perspective of having a second airport within the region. And we uncovered this when we started engaging with the airlines. It's all about optimizing the takeoff weight. It's all about optimizing how much reserve fuel airlines hold per flight. And if you look at the screen, you've got Cape Town and Johannesburg 2 hours away. What it means is that aircraft flying to Cape Town are carrying an enormous amount of reserve fuel. From a wide-body perspective, coming from the US or Europe, it's as much as 10 tons or 8 tons, depending on the aircraft. And they have to hold this additional reserve fuel in case of an emergency at Cape Town International, where they have to divert to Johannesburg. Now, what we uncovered is that if you situate Winelands Airport 25 k's away, call it a 5-minute diversion, it allows the airlines to optimize how much fuel that they carry each and every flight. And this is a major weight saving. So we wanted to really unpack this and understand the benefits to the airlines. So we engaged a company called Pace Aerospace, based in Berlin. They're expert performance modelers. And they analyzed what would the saving to the airlines be if they were able to optimize how much reserve fuel that they hold each and every flight. And as a very practical example, an A350-900 from Atlanta flying into Cape Town, with the existence of Winelands Airport, allowing them to optimize how much reserve fuel that they hold, they can reduce their takeoff weight by 8 tons in the form of reserve fuel. They can then use this weight however they want, carry additional cargo, reduce your takeoff weight, and therefore less operational expenses, less fuel, less CO2. And this has a major impact on the operations, up to 23% increased payload capacity every single flight. Now, as we know, the margins on airline operations are thin. Having this kind of benefit has a major impact on the profitability of routes within the region, expanding air access, making Cape Town as a region more attractive, more routes, more range of aircraft, and the list goes on. Conversely, coming from Dubai, you can have a lighter aircraft, therefore less takeoff weight, less operational costs. The benefits are substantial. We then extrapolate this across the industry. We estimate it's worth over R1 billion per year, just in savings for the airline industry. And that should hopefully translate into ticket fares as well, boosting area access, more competitiveness, more routes within the region. And the best thing about this is that the existence of Winelands Airport actually complements operations into Cape Town International Airport. We have a wonderful situation where 2 airports actually complement each other. We're projecting 5 million passengers per annum, but now with the latest elections as well, we think Cape Town as a region, South Africa as a whole, is going to be improving faster than any of us expected. It puts us in a really wonderful position. And then from a real estate perspective, so of course, we've got 800 hectares of land, in fact 880. Hangarage is a big portion of our business model. We want hangar rental, private aircraft owners, general aviation, business aviation, really complementing the other side of the business, having a massive cargo precinct as well to stimulate the export market into the region. The logistics park we're planning on incorporating as well. We're allocating a lot of space specifically for that. We started engaging with industry now, starting to allocate space for it. Hospitality, we need various tiers of hotels and accommodations to stimulate the market and to really respond to the demand that we have. And then we have a lot of interest for conferencing and events. We want Winelands Airport really to be a tourist destination. We want people to feel like they're at their holiday destination when they arrive at our airport. We want people to visit the airport for more than one reason. And having everything combined into one precinct gives us a wonderful opportunity to achieve that. And then commercial parks and agri-processing. We want producers to not only export the raw materials, process them at our precinct or off the airport, the terminal precinct, and then export the finished goods, adding a lot of value to our region. In terms of our own timelines, we're busy going through the environmental process and time planning process as well. We're hoping to achieve that in the next year, and then in construction shortly after that, with the first wings in the air, hopefully by the end of 2027, probably more closer to 2028 these days. But we're progressing at a wonderful rate, and we appreciate all the support we've received so far. So ladies and gents, I'll be around for the next couple of days. I'm looking forward to engaging with you all. Thank you for your time.